As a designer, I'm guilty of trying to one-shot scope, which is why this idea from the chief design officer at Shopify really stood out to me.
Whenever you're trying to size a project to the scope that it was assigned, you're basically going to undershoot. And you'll create all of these different self-imposed restrictions that only allow you to consider a space that's, this big, like much smaller. And so I generally think that whenever you approach new work, you should do it in an unrestricted way. You should consider all of the possibilities on any timeline and build out the sort of like North Star idea of what a thing can become. Because from that, it's much easier to start to reason about scope. But you then have like a full picture of all of the different opportunities that will exist for you today and in the future to choose from. And you will discover that some of the things that you had kind of anticipated would happen much, much later, in fact, are available to you today. And it actually creates a much richer conversation with all of the other stakeholders as well, with product and engineering and data, of basically coming into a room and saying, here's the full story. Just imagine what this could be. Now, let's start to talk about what we can bring into existence today, in the next week, in the next 2 weeks. What this means for me is that most product organizations in the world today get timeframes completely wrong. Most of us, when we approach new problems, we approach them considering the medium term, the kind of like 6-7 months to a year or so. And I think it's the least useful time horizon because it's the one that you can control the least. The trends become more about the macro than the specific things that are going to get us there. And it's also like very easy for us to imagine the world 2 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now. And so what I'm basically like pushing our design teams to do is to consider the very, very long term, like where is this thing going? What's the North Star of this project? And the very, very short term, what are the things that we can bring to life today? And just fully cut out the middle.